It's very spooky. You can't see me. I'm John Cena. It's okay. So it's very dark. Maybe the lighting of Dallas will brighten up my view in a minute. Right now I have a major stomach ache. I don't know why. Maybe it was from drinking 3 Coke Zeros during the movie. So okay, I went to Alamo Drafthouse to go see Bottoms. We'll get into Bottoms in a minute. But first I want to explain why I got 3 Coke Zeros. So I basically wasn't gonna get anything because I wanted to save money, but I'm always I have just awkward tension when people ask me, and she was like, "I'm gonna be your server today. What can I get you?" She was so nice, and I was like, I didn't want to say "Oh, I'm not gonna get anything." I don't know how to address it without for me being uncomforted by it, if that makes sense. I just don't want to say "Oh, I'm not gonna get anything. Please fuck off." That's how I always feel I say it. I feel anytime I address it, I just feel I'm telling them to fuck off, and I feel really bad. But realistically, I was I'll just get a Coke Zero. I just wanted something to drink. Coke Zero's not that bad. And I was fuck, it's $8. It's less than an AMC. AMC if I get a Coke Zero at a glass. And when you dine in, you always expect a little cheaper. But for a dine-in theater like Drafthouse, I should have thought and known that it wouldn't be cheaper. So I did. I was okay, I'm going to chug it. Because I'm here 30 minutes before the movie starts because I like to see all the stuff they play before the movie at Alamo Drafthouses. So I was all right, I'll drink it really quick before the movie starts. Then I got a second one, middle of the movie, and then by the time the movie was getting the last 30 minutes, I ordered another, and I finished it as the Q&A ended, because there was a Q&A after, a live stream one. So I was yeah, that's how I want to enjoy the movie and finish it, blah, blah, blah. So, with all that being said, I did enjoy my Coke Zeros, and I really, 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 really fucking loved Bottoms. Wow, I loved Bottoms. And we're going to talk about it right now. Non-spoilers, because I am not going to get... If I tell you stuff that happens in this movie, it will ruin the movie. This is definitely a movie where some really shocking things, some really great jokes, some hidden gags you won't expect do occur. And I don't want to just tell you shit that happens in this movie. I feel that would make it lame. And I feel who wants to see a movie where they know what's going to happen and they know all the jokes? I don't think people want to know that. So I'm going to try to do my best to avoid it all, but I'm going to give the basic concept. If you haven't seen the trailer, Bottoms is the new movie starring Rachel Sennett and Ayo Edebiri. Is it Ayo Edebiri, I believe? Directed by Emma Seligman, who, if you know, of course, directed Shiva Baby with Rachel Sennett, and that movie is awesome, really great, not even 80 minutes long. If you want a really good kind of awkward tension comedy that's stressful, awkward, and really funny at the same time, and charming and kind of sweet, and play dark at parts, Shiva Baby for sure is a movie you need to see. But Bottoms is about 2 teenage girls who are unpopular and no one really likes at this high school, who basically, when it comes to it, trying to get with 2 girls who, at least for the most part, would be coming off straight, and they definitely don't know are lesbians, but they decide to start a fight club and claim it's about feminism and empowerment, just so they can, sleep with hot lesbian girls, or convert them to lesbians, if not sleep with them. And so, yeah, it's an awkward tension fight club comedy, and simultaneously a really good queer rom-com that actually fits the motive and message of what it's going for all the way. It's kind of weird how it works, but they do it very well, is what I'm going to say. And that is very much in thanks to a great writing, a really fun, solid direction, and an excellent cast. This is definitely going to be a cult classic in the future. I don't know. It depends on how this movie does in money. It could just immediately become a classic that people love and quote all the time. But I do also believe this movie needs to make some money. I believe the budget was $11 million. So I'm sure MGM and or Orion Pictures are definitely looking at hopefully making 30 or 40 million worldwide. Let's hope it does that, because I don't think it's being marketed enough for enough people to notice, but maybe it will be. We'll have to see and give it time. But I could see this being a classic immediately if it does very well in theaters and people are surprised by it, to it also just becoming a cult classic down the line, because this movie is so funny and has so many moments that I cannot just wait to quote after I see it 3 or 4 more times. Holy goddamn shit, is this movie funny as hell. It's a bit insane. I thought it was going to be a bit more crazy, because my friend was it's pretty ridiculous. It definitely doesn't push the ridiculous factor as much as I thought it would, but I'm kind of glad it doesn't, because when it does get very fucking crazy and does stuff like that you would see out of like a Wet Hot American Summer, which is like a film they took inspiration from, where it just gets like insane. You're like, what the hell is this? This does not feel like it's in the same reality of the real world or any consequences are being made. And when it does that, that's what makes it so fun, because it doesn't happen often. It only happens in a few scarce moments, and in those moments you're just like, what the hell? That makes it so much funnier. The scenes, the tension between the characters. A few of them you'll see. One of them involves this guy in a cage. I'm not going to explain why the guy's in the cage. I don't know why they're in the fucking cage, but they're in it through multiple parts of the movie, and it is the funniest shit in the movie to me. Every time it kept cutting back to that, I was like, what is that? And then once it has a payoff near a later part of the movie, I was just like, that's excellent. That's exactly the kind of shit I want to see. And they go for it. This movie goes for it on every direction. But it's also kind of heartwarming. It is a good movie about friendship. In areas like Booksmart, when they have the argument scene, or when characters are completely disputed against one another, it does manage to build that heart. It manages to have a lot of like heartfelt, loving scenes between friends, even though the situations they are put in are ridiculous and kind of fucked up in parts. But that's kind of exactly what works about it and what's so charming. I can put up a light now probably a little bit because I'm in a better area. Just alone, I want to run through this cast. Rachel Sennett, obviously always charming. This is not her peak performance role. I think Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a performance from her that I would say is funnier and more energetic. I feel like I'm going to remember the character of Alice more than I'm going to remember this character of PJ. But she is cool and she is funny, and she's mainly, I would say, the lead, like equivalent to Ayo Edebiri, but I think like she has even a little more to do than her. But that being said, she doesn't come off as like the standout. A lot of the side characters are really the standouts. In particular, Ruby Cruz as, is it Havana, who was, I thought, fucking great, or was it Hazel? It's Hazel. Havana is one of the actresses who plays Isabel, but Hazel, the character of Hazel, and I thought Marshawn Lynch as Mr. G, this like substitute teacher / coach, like gym coach. I thought his character and Ruby Cruz as Hazel were like really funny and standouts. Like ones that were smaller characters. Ruby Cruz especially got a really good character arc for being a smaller character and fitting into like what she did. But then I also thought simultaneously it was great that Marshawn Lynch clearly got to improv a lot. And I've seen him on like TV and stuff, and I've seen him in interviews, and he is just naturally funny. My fucking god, is he like one of the funniest parts. He only has like 4 scenes, I would say, in the entire film that are like you would actually call scenes with him talking, and all 4 of them were like laugh out loud funny, and I thought he did an amazing job with it. It fits the moment so well. Also, obviously I said Rachel was great. Ayo Edebiri probably is the actual standout. I love her awkward comedy. She knows how to do awkward comedy without being forceful so well. She does like the same shtick, and it never gets old. Because in Theater Camp, which I still think is my favorite comedy this year, even above this by a little bit, she has like such a small role, but every moment with her is so fucking funny. And I was just like, god damn, she just knows how to nail this kind of character, and she does it again here. But she's playing a bigger lead, and she's a character you feel more attached to. Because I would say, unlike Rachel Sennett, even though I think Rachel Sennett has a little more to do, and is probably more the face of the movie. I mean, like quite literally, I could show you in a minute if I wasn't driving, but they had like menus with Rachel Sennett's face on it for this movie with like special menu items. They did the same thing for Bodies, Bodies, and I think she might. Maybe I'm wrong about the Bodies menu. Maybe it was just like an actual menu, but I don't know why I'm having the flashback thinking it was Alice with the glow sticks around her neck as the fucking menu. It might have been. But anyways, she's great in this movie. Ayo Edebiri really is the heart and soul of the movie. When it comes to the comedy, it's the most like innocent and heartfelt and sweet, but also when it comes to like the backstory for her character and like the relationship she builds with the character that Havana plays, named Isabel. I was shocked how that character turned out and how her character turned out. And I was like, this is really well done. But also really corny and stupid, but that's where the laughs are played, but it also is heartwarming, and Ayo Edebiri can really play that kind of role and make the awkward, heartfelt comedy role pop out in a movie that has fucked up scenarios going on that feels like it's out of this world in a reality. I don't know the character's name, I know the character's name, Jeff. They said his name was Nick something, I think. Jeff is like the main jock and the main guy of this football team for our characters, the Vikings football team, and god damn it, is he fucking great. He's so funny. Like, I was genuinely, like, brought to tears a few times by some of the scenes that they give this guy. Like, they are insane, but they work very, very well. I don't want to give any of his jokes away, but you can kind of tell from his character being, like, extremely flamboyant and constantly overacting. He just really pushes the character forward of Jeff, this cocky, broy douchebag. And so does his friend. I don't remember that character's name either, but his, like, friend who's the black guy on the team, who's number 2, he seems like the guy plotting everything against them because he notices something going on with this club that they've started. His character is also really funny, along with Jeff. Every character is kind of funny and in a heightened reality, except our lead 2 characters, which making them the awkward tension in the heart of the movie is so good because everyone else around them feels like fucked up and insane or on cocaine or just like the complete like satire of what a normal character like this would normally be. And it's so fucking well done. The movie's also shot pretty well, and I'm surprised that it actually is like violent and will aim for dark comedy at the most random moments. Like when they fight and there's blood and gore, there's actually, it's not like a shitload. I'm not saying it's like a horror movie like Terrifier, but there's blood and gore in here, and I was like shocked that it was like actually here more than I was expecting. Like, it's more bombastic and horny than I thought it would be, and it's worked in so well, but not forced. It does not feel tacked on like a last minute addition. It actually feels like it's a part of the tone. It meshes very well, the violence. It's not too much, but it's not too little either. It's enough to be shocking, but also a little grounded. I mean, like, logically the stuff that happens, it feels like stuff that would happen, even in part. Like, I'm not going to say characters die, but maybe they die. I don't know. It's a bit crazy at times, this movie goes, and I think it works very well in its favor. And our audience very much enjoyed it. Like, for it being only like a 70-seat, it was sold out, but for it only being a 70-seat crowd overall in the theater we were singing in, the fact that I actually heard applause at the end of the movie from the whole audience, like people were laughing after the movie had already cut and ended to like scrolling credits, made me know that this, if the crowd goes out and it's marketed better and people actually notice it's coming out, this is a movie that could make money and be a really good crowd pleaser, even if it is a bit heightened, such as A Wet Hot American Summer. Also, another movie they took inspiration of, Debs, which I didn't love Debs. I watched it recently just because I had heard that there was some connection to it. I can definitely see in a few parts where it connects, but I didn't love Debs, but I can definitely see, like, again, this having a cult following and having a heightened, very weird, non-believable view of the world, but also feeling like the characters are grounded, despite the world and the way they act being completely heightened and ridiculous. Like, again, like A Wet Hot American Summer. If you've seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is a charming movie for fucking badass women to kick ass. I would not even lie. There's a line where a character just goes, "Yes, girl! Slay! Slay!" And she screams really fucking loud. And it's like kind of scary. And I'm like, shit, though. She's going at it. She's being real. Like, it felt like a real impactful moment. And this is definitely a movie for women. Like, they're going to be inspired by it, even though it's ridiculous and satirical. It still feels fucking awesome. And in every way, it's just a film I loved, and I would see myself going back to it a lot. Probably, yeah, my 5th favorite movie of the year, I would say. I love this movie a lot. I could see it going up on a rewatch even, like, in terms of just enjoyment. And honestly, like, it's that kind of movie where I go, like, people say there's no such thing as perfect movies, but I've rated movies this year a 5 out of 5, and I'm not going to do anything different with Bottoms. It just is so charming to me. I just sat there constantly eating it up and loving it, and I was never bored. Like, this is going to be a comfort film that I buy on Blu-ray and just have on repeat at home when I go to bed. It's kind of like Booksmart and Wet Hot American Summer and Fight Club. If those 3 movies had like a baby and were combined, it would make Bottoms. And I love all of those movies, and I fucking love this movie now. And just after one viewing and sitting with it after an hour, I did talk about it with a friend for a bit afterward, after the movie ended, and we had the Q&A, so I've had time to process it. I just love it. I just love this kind of movie. Like, fuck yeah to the Ayo Edebiri crowd and the Rachel Sennett crowd and the Molly Gordon crowd. Just the bear. Really just the bear and Rachel Sennett, even though she was in The Idol. And The Idol sucked. Yeah, it's just really that moment where I'm loving movies like that. Like, my favorite movies this year, like most of them, besides I'd say like Spider-Verse, have like female leads that are badass and awesome and feel like so much more driven. And they're not forced or like, I I don't know, it doesn't feel like the joke is that it's women doing the thing, and if it is, it's usually satirical because it knows like the funniness of it, and it does very well with it, just like Bottoms does, just like Barbie does, and very much just like a theater camp did recently. Although theater camp feels like a very ensemble cast, like of men and women, but just that vibe of a movie is just so much fun. Like, definitely go out of your way to see this movie. It's fucking hilarious. Also make time for theater camp. Like, honestly, they would make an awesome double feature. Despite not really being correlated, I think of comedy movies this year, those two really pair up well. And they both have Ayo Edebiri. So, just shout out to them. Very much love this movie. I would give it a 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10 if you want to go by my old system. I'm going to try and do 5 out of 5 now. I'm trying to do it at 5 stars. Like, I've only done 10 out of 10 to, like, unsimplify things when I have to say, like, a 9. But if you know I'm saying a 9, you know what 4.5 out of 5 is the same thing as me giving a movie a 9. So, like, don't take the assumption that I'm just going that one route. I just want that to be known. So, yeah, love this movie. I hope people go and check it out. It's very, very entertaining and very clever. It definitely will subvert your expectations at parts, and let it. And just go in blind if you can. I've seen a clip online. I saw this whole scene with Marshawn Lynch that was partly in the trailer, but I saw the full clip online, and I'm like, oh, that ruined one of some of the funniest jokes. But it doesn't ruin all of them. There's so much more to be had, and crazier shit I didn't expect. I'm also glad they hid the character of Hazel, who, again, played by Ruby Cruz, has way more to do than I thought, and she was the heart and had a lot of great parts to her, and was super funny and awkward, and I fucking loved her character. And I can't wait to see for people to discover that character. And I'm hoping that all these girls go on to do like a ton more shit, other than just like Rachel and Ayo, who are definitely having their moment. Like, they feel like South by Southwest queens now that they've had, like, I think The Bear season 1 had a premiere at South by Southwest. Theater Camp was there recently. Rachel Sennett obviously had Bodies there, and this past year she had this movie and I Used to Be Funny. Hopefully I Used to Be Funny gets a wide release and I can see it, because my friend said that one, while not as good as Bottoms there, she really liked that, and I also want to check that one out. It sounds pretty funny, but also very emotional and heartwarming. So, oh, I'm tired. It's like 11 p.m. The movie ended. Like, to be fair, the movie ended at like 9:30. I talked with my friend for like an hour after the movie ended. So, like, a lot going on through my head. Great movie though. Do go check it out. My next video, I didn't end up going to see Haunted Mansion after I reviewed Blue Beetle, so you might be seeing this, then my Blue Beetle review, and then maybe I'll see Haunted Mansion. I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but I might try and check it out really late at night, either tomorrow or Thursday. I'll have to see if I have time. But if not, you won't get a Haunted Mansion review until it comes out on home on Disney+. But for now, enjoy this review. Go check out my Blue Beetle review, which will be probably posted after you see this one. And stay tuned for more reviews in the future. I'm going to be doing more, possibly not in my car. And I'm also doing a review with a friend, probably in the middle of next month, in September. So stay tuned for that. We have a plan for a review. And yeah, have a great day. Bottoms up, bitch. That is not a line in the movie. I just wanted to say bottoms up because it's called. Bye.